Well, back to Fog Entertainment, A Time to Kill. Here is the movie review. This came out in 1996. Remember, I watched this ages ago in school, but recently watched it, so we're here to review it. And I feel like it's a very well done movie with a few. I wouldn't say, well, I would go as far as say major flaws, right? But we kick off the movie. We're in America, obviously. Damn it. I don't know what the year is, but there's several links and mentions back to this case in 1985. But if they didn't mention this, fuck, I would have thought this movie was set in like early 70s, like no later, like than like the 80s beginning. But the way they talk here, it could almost be that this movie is set around with the time the movie comes out, which kind of just sums up race relations in America. A fucking mess. But Samuel Jackson, his daughter, well, not his daughter, you know what I mean, fucking, his daughter in the movie, Carly Haley, his daughter's walking home. We just get an introduction to these two rednecks who are just racist. And they basically beat and rape his daughter, both of them. And this is like, I get they're two rednecks, but they probably don't have an IQ between them, but at the same time, it's like, how can these two guys, they leave her alive. I guess they tried to kill her by lynching her and hanging her, but Jesus Christ, like two fucking inbred bastards. And then Samuel Jackson basically takes actions into his own hands because it looks like they're both going to walk because they're white, and they did it on a black child, which is not right. Samuel Jackson absolutely here. Carly Haley does the exact thing anyone would do. He goes up and he blows him away with like an M16, even though I think Kevin Spacey describes the gun differently. It looks like an M16 to me. Maybe I played too much Call of Duty, or it could be an M4A1 or something. I don't know, but it looks like an M16 to me. M4A1, M16, in the same ballpark. Nobody really gives a fuck. But yeah, Big Jake Taylor, he is drafted in as Carly Haley's lawyer. We then basically get the whole date being set. They're in jail. We get Kevin Spacey and Matthew McConaughey face to face. But then we get the introduction of Sandra Bullock, and this is where I'm going to kind of go off from the story, because Sandra Bullock's inclusion in this movie is so fucking stupid. Like, there's just no need. Even this info that she finds about like getting dirt on people, like towards the end, like on the other camp and shit. The womanizer who was with Matthew McConaughey, like Harry Rax or whatever the fuck he was called, he could have done that. Like, it was just a complete waste of time having her in it. She gets kidnapped and then she ends up getting saved by the guy with the Mickey Mouse tattoo and ends up in hospital for the last half an hour of the movie. That was just stupid. Sandra Bullock, if I'm talking about flaws, no need for her to be in this. It was just to create, not even a love triangle, but there was like a, almost like, oh, is Jake, as Matthew McConaughey's character, going to cheat here? He ends up not, which was good. But then basically the KKK gets started up by Freddie Lee. Sitting there, recognise this. Is this guy the son of Donald Sutherland? We got Lucian in there. Lucian, Donald Sutherland, he's obviously a good actor as well. But basically, like, Samuel Jackson, right, there's loads of scenes where he's like, you gotta get me off with this, Jake. You know, I've got a family, I can't do 10, 20 years. I mean, you killed two guys in cold blood, be it justified, you know? And also, like, you're black, it was two white guys in a pretty racist town, and, you know, more or less the jury is going to end up fucking you up the ass. I think if you got him 10 or 20 years, you'd have to take that. Carly looks like, what, he's like mid-40s maybe? You'd be like, what, 65, 60 by the time you get out. I don't think 10, 20 years would have been too bad for a time to kill for this guy. But obviously he's no taking that, and I think that was very disrespectful towards Jake. And he's like, you have to get me off. But then we get the big court case after a few clashes between like the blacks and the KKK. I'll say the blacks, it was basically the people who wanted him free, which is more or less anyone with a fucking brain. But yeah, then we get the big showdown. One of the witnesses that they're using towards to try and prove that Carly Haley's is, you know, crazy. It turns out he got done for statutory rape, but it turns out he went on to marry that woman. Matthew McConaughey basically decides to go, fuck, I'm going off script for this last bit. He basically plays out that day's offence, what happened to that little girl, and he went, now imagine she's white. Right? Which is all good in the hood. I thought that was a really good bit of acting. But at the same time, it's like the jury, like the guy who was like the head guy of the jury, he proved that he was like racist, you know? and like most of them probably were. Why would that speech all of a sudden change his views? Right? Yes, it would affect them because oh fuck, that could have happened to a white kid. But the fact is, the demons who are racist, it didn't happen to a white kid. It happened to a black kid. And how could the jury have went from literally all 12 of them about to vote guilty to vote not guilty, and then he gets out free? Like, realistically, it's a very happy ending. The reunion with his daughter at the end, and then we get Matthew McConaughey's family playing with his family. Did right, all good, very good moment. But realistically, should he have? I think he should have got like at least 10 years. You know, like not for the crime, well, obviously for the crime, but it's like it kind of makes no sense how 12 of them were guilty. They all flipped to not guilty with that speech, especially when half of them are fucking racist or going to be influenced by like the KKK and shit. And then you've also got the fact that, like, how do you go from literally you're going to get like a million years rammed up your arse to nothing, and then they're playing the whole thing that he's crazy when he openly admits in it, every bastard who raped kids deserves to die, which yes they do, but I mean the whole play of insane and mental well-being, all that shit, it's out the windy, man. It doesn't even exist. They're just doing that to get the case thrown out. And what I thought if he is legally insane, surely you should be put in an asylum. Then you shouldn't be fucking get in it and put with your family. I'm no a lawyer or whatever, but to me this makes no fucking sense. It's a good movie, but I feel like the ending, I feel like if they gave him like 10 years or 15 years and we had a time skip and then we saw like their families interact after that, it would have been a really cool ending. But they didn't do that, guys. They kind of went with this. And I feel like there is a few flaws, Sandra Bullock and all that shit, so I will give this movie a 7.5 out of 10. I feel like if it had a proper like ending and Sandra Bullock isn't really in it, or they use her a bit better, it could literally be a 9 or something. But yeah, apart from that, guys, it's a bit of a mess. So I'll give it a 7.5 out of 10.